Anger, despair, troubling, any other word that really sums up what Panama must be feeling right now after they crash out of the Gold Cup to Mexico. 2 penalties given and a red card. But before we got into that, thanks for joining us outside. This might bring back memories of the World Cup, although this tournament is nowhere near as prestigious as that. But we still want to talk about it. I know some people left some comments about the US and how they were defeated by Jamaica. But we have to talk about Panama and Mexico first, because I just felt so sorry for them. This does not give the right to the fans or the players to act in the way they did. Football happens this way. You can't be trying to attack the referee or be throwing things onto the field. I will never condone that. But let's take it step by step. First call, the red card. Not a red card. Maybe a yellow. He leans with his elbow. I understand that going by the rule book, which I think teams in the Americas or referees in the Americas follow step by step more so than in the European leagues, I have to say. Like, just because he leaded with an elbow, there was no intent to do damage. I think his eyes were both on the ball and the player, just to kind of make sure that he was not exactly going to crash right into him. He did lean with his elbow. It's a yellow. You don't need to destroy basically what he thought was destroying the chances of Panama that early in the game. Let it go, give it a yellow card. But no, he sends them off, and then Panama just find it within themselves to send themselves 1-0 up in this game and play an astounding game defensively. They have to owe it to their keeper as well, who pulled out some miraculous saves. Mexico just couldn't seem to break them down until once again, like that what happened in the previous game, they get a penalty in the last kick of the ball. So this is my thoughts on this. The defender does an extremely fantastic job of getting to the ball first. He could have just put it out for a corner. Defensively, that's what I would have done, because if you loop it back over your head, it's going to go straight into the box. Someone could be coming on. So I thought that was a foolish thing to do in terms of, but he did well to get there in the first scenario. But now when he's on the ground, he's falling back. The first thing he's trying to do is get the ball away and clear it. So gravity obviously isn't following him, because he's going to fall down. It's not on his side. He could try and fall to the side and just try and sweep it away from his leg, but I don't think he's in control of his body. He falls on top of the ball. Intentional or not, that is a foul in terms of world football. It's a foul, and it's an indirect free kick. That's what I think could have been the right scenario. Mexico probably would have scored from that. I think in the last kick of the ball, the referee could either let that go, have the goalkeeper pick it up, because his hand never touched it, he kept his hands away, let it go, or give an indirect free kick, which could have resulted in a Mexico goal. But the referee makes a harsh call, punishes Panama, and now Mexico are back in the game again. And then just to add salt in the wounds, which this was clearly a penalty, stupidity from the Panama defender. Don't make a tackle like that inside the box. Yes, Panama loyalists will now be saying, no, that wasn't a penalty either. Come on, mate. That was definitely a penalty. He doesn't need to make that tackle. He gives the referee an easy call to make. And Mexico get bailed out of jail again and now go through to the final. When I thought Panama were the better team, especially with 10 men, you have to feel sorry for them. Again, don't condone any actions off and on the field of the players and fans after. Of course, they're going to be upset. Of course, they're going to be frustrated. But all you do then is bring further shame to the country and the team when you start acting like that. But now we're going to go on to the next atrocity, which is the US team, who are miles better than Jamaica, let's be honest here, out of the Gold Cup. Jamaica put them out 2-1. Klinsmann threw everything he could, or he thought he could, at Jamaica towards the end. A special free kick was the goal that put them ahead further. But I have to talk about two things. Not playing Omar Gonzalez. He's an experienced defender. You get Brooks and Alvarado with each other. They were never on the same playing field. Watch it. Alvarado would try and make these tackles. Brooks would either be ahead of him or way far back. There was no chemistry there. There was no stability in their defending. What we seen from the World Cup was a US team with a lot of heart and stability and organised defending. None of that was evident against Jamaica, and Jamaica punished them, and rightly so. They went through to the final. In the US now, this has to be looked at as nothing less than a disaster, because they did not play to their potential in several occasions against Panama, against Jamaica, teams that are nowhere near the same quality as them. With your Michael Bradleys, your Clint Dempsey-Zardes, I think is a great player, but defensively they were let down a lot, and I just didn't think that they kept possession well enough, and Jamaica, rightly so, go through to the finals. So what's the fallout from all this then? You have to think about, from a US standpoint, you see Klinsmann now, who may be coming under some form of scrutiny with their loss in the 2011 Gold Cup. It caused their then manager to be sacked of his position. I don't think that's going to happen to Klinsmann. Of course, he guided them to a successful campaign in the World Cup. He's a good manager. They just beat Germany and Holland. Yes, they were friendlies, but they were establishing themselves as a team to be taken seriously. But I honestly think that the players just did not take this competition as seriously as they should. But we want to know what you guys think in terms of Klinsmann. And of course, in the Mexico-Panama scenario, what did you think of the decision? You know that the decision was the wrong one when both the Mexico coach said you don't even have to watch the replay. It wasn't a penalty, talking about the first one. And of course, the penalty taker himself, Cuadrado, thought about missing it but he had to be professional. I would never say that a player, whether it was a right or wrong decision, should go in and intentionally miss a penalty. Of course, it would scream sportsmanship and everyone would class him a hero. But his Mexico nationalists would not class him a hero because you have to play what's given in front of you. But we want to know what you guys think of this scenario. And to leave you, let's take a look at what the Panama national team said about Mexico in their tweet.